Leaves. How is a leaf so good at collecting solar energy? Leaves are the plant's main photosynthetic organs. Leaves also expose tissue to the dryness of air and therefore have adjustable pores that help conserve water while letting oxygen and carbon dioxide enter and exit the leaf. To collect sunlight, most leaves have a thin, flattened part called a blade. The flat shape of a leaf blade maximizes the amount of light it can absorb. The blade is attached to the stem by a thick stalk called a petiole. Leaves have an outer covering of dermal tissue and inner region of ground and vascular tissue. There's the midrib, the blade, primary leaf veins. And notice they're not parallel. These are this way, these are this way. It must be a dicot. And this is the petiole attaching to the stem. Xylem and phloem tissues are gathered together in bundles called leaf veins that run from the stem throughout the leaf. The top and bottom surfaces of a leaf are covered with epidermis, which has tough, irregular shaped cells with thick outer walls. The epidermis of nearly all leaves is covered with a waxy cuticle, a waterproof barrier that protects the leaf and limits water loss through evaporation. The veins in the leaf, and here's a piece of that leaf, just a small thickness, cross section of the leaf. That cuticle is on top, protecting from evaporation, right above and below the epidermis. Cuticle is at the bottom and at the top of the leaf. There's the palisade mesophyll, spongy mesophyll. And here's the epidermis, top and bottom. Here's the xylem and the phloem, the veins transporting water in and nutrients out. Here's the chlorophyll, which are through here. And here are guard cells for gas exchange in water. Here is the stoma. Xylem and phloem tissues are gathered together into bundles called leaf veins that run from stem through the leaf. Beneath the upper epidermis is a layer of cells called the palisade mesophyll, containing closely packed cells that absorb light that enters the leaf. Beneath the palisade layer is a spongy mesophyll, which has many air spaces between its cells. The palisade mesophyll is full of chlorophyll-filled cells. The spongy mesophyll is more loosely packed. The air spaces in the spongy mesophyll connect with the exterior through stomata, small openings in the epidermis that allow carbon dioxide, water, and oxygen to diffuse into and out of the leaf through the guard cells and stomata. And here is a single stoma. Leaves take in carbon dioxide and give off oxygen during photosynthesis. When plant cells use the food they make, the cells respire, taking in oxygen and giving off carbon dioxide. Plant leaves allow gas exchange between air spaces in the spongy mesophyll and the exterior by opening their stomata. Guard cells, shown in the figure, are highly specialized cells that surround the stomata and control their opening and closing. Guard cells regulate the movement of gases into and out of the leaf tissue. Guard cells, and here's the stomata, the opening through which the nutrients and air flow, open position and closed position. And this is the inner cell wall. What role do stomata play in maintaining homeostasis? Plants maintain homeostasis by keeping their stomata open just enough to allow for photosynthesis to take place, but not too much that they lose an excessive amount of water. In general, stomata are open during the daytime when photosynthesis is active and closed at night when the open stomata would only lead to water loss. However, stomata may be closed even in the bright sunlight under hot, dry conditions in which water conservation is a matter of life and death. Guard cells respond to conditions in the environment such as wind and temperature, helping to maintain homeostasis within the leaf. Overall, the complete structure of a leaf is remarkably optimal for light absorption photosynthesis. The walls of the mesophyll cells are kept moist so that gases can enter and leave the cells easily. However, water also evaporates from these surfaces and is lost to the atmosphere. Transpiration is the loss of water through leaves. This lost water may be replaced by water drawn into the leaf through the xylem vessels in the vascular tissue. Transpiration helps to cool leaves in hot days, but it may also threaten the leaves' survival if water is scarce, as seen in this wilting plant. Osmotic pressure keeps a plant's leaves and stems rigid. High transpiration rates can lead to wilting. Wilting results from the loss of water and therefore pressure in a plant's cells. Certain plants have characteristics that allow them to live in dry or nutrient poor regions. For the pitcher plant, the leaf of a pitcher plant attracts and then digests insects and other small prey. Such plants typically live in nutrient poor soils and rely on animal prey as their source of nitrogen. The insects crawl in and get trapped and are digested in the digestive juices in the pitcher plant. In the rock plant, the two leaves of a rock plant are suited for hot, dry conditions. They are rounded, which minimizes the exposure of the surface to the air. They also have very few stomata. For spruce, the narrow leaves of a spruce tree contain a waxy epidermis as well as the stomata that are sunken below the surface of the leaf. This reduces water loss from the leaves. For cactus, the cactus leaves are actually non-photosynthetic thorns that protect against herbivores. Most of the plant's photosynthesis is carried out in the stems, on the green stems.